Quick roll call. We have Trustee Astral, Trustee Sweattick, Trustee Augustine, all the department heads, and Tom Z, who does all of our zoning complaints, and Lynn. All right. Who wants to go first? Time constraint?
Chief Grossenbaugh, since I
have nothing. I have nothing. No problem. I just wanted to say hi. We got the permit for park firework display through the firework company, American, I think, but I could be mistaken on which company they'll be doing on July 3rd. And the only other thing, Friday, I'll be leaving at 1:30 and I'll be back probably by dinner time on the 4th. I'll be in North Carolina visiting with my brother and his family. We rented some cabins down there. Nice. So we're driving late Friday afternoon after Maddie gets off work. And
so the fireworks are on the 3rd?
3rd, yes.
Dang.
Who's doing it?
We are going out of town. I was looking forward to seeing
on his property, yeah. Yep.
Gabe will be my brother's driveway and watch them because it's a perfect spot.
Oh, it is. It's all over there is great. Assistant Chief Gerbasi is doing all the pre-inspection, during display inspection, and then the post inspection as well. Okay. So that's all I have.
And everybody working that day will be welcome.
Yes. He invites all our guys out there to watch, bring families and eat, and he makes sure to tell everybody to eat.
Nice.
That's really nice.
Yep. But that's all I have.
Okay. Very good. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you very much.
Have anything for Chief Grossenbaugh? Thank you, sir.
Thank you guys very much. Have a safe 4th of July, everybody.
You too. I can't believe it's
have fun. Oh, yeah. Crazy.
Any preferences to who goes next?
It's up to you. Doesn't matter. Right. I guess I'll go. The first thing that I have is did you guys get the bid tabs for Valley Brook?
Yes.
That I sent out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Them.
Obviously the second one also came in high, but I mean, everything's within the 10%. What I would recommend doing is, like we had talked before, let's do the first one. And then let's get some hard numbers to get over to Lewis and Land for Bethany.
Okay.
And tell them this is what we have to work with. You know, we need to stay within this budget and then go from there with the rest of what we have.
I agree with that. I'm not surprised at how much higher it came in.
I'm surprised it stayed within the 10%.
I am too.
I'm excited about that so we can get something done. Trimore was the only one to come in, but you know, we've dealt with Trimore before. They do good work, so should move along pretty smooth. Once
so they were lowest, best, and only?
Yes.
They win by default.
They win by and only.
But once Angie gets the contracts over, you know, we can get and pass resolutions and really can't move forward until she has those contracts. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Also,
Mike, were we thinking end of July for a start date on that?
Maybe. I think she switched it to
later.
August.
Yeah.
Something.
Okay.
Like I said, I'll get with Angie with all the details.
Because we were concerned about school buses again being affected.
Well, they may be this year just because everything getting pushed back and you know, just lack of bids, lack of contractors, everything. So
right. Okay.
Did you guys get the quotes for the fence?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we stayed under that 50,000 mark.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be ultimately what the trustees want to do. So
I had a couple questions about it. Melissa and Jack, did you guys get a chance to look at them?
Yeah, I'm looking at them again right now. Really?
I shouldn't be, but
so with the veterans fence, it's got the 2-year warranty and the NEO has the 5-year warranty. Now, the NEO actually put in there that what was built into their quote was removing the old fence for the 5,400.
Mm-hmm.
Veterans fence did not have that. Do you know if that's part of the quote?
They do. They both had it in. I got to find that.
Did they? I read it twice. Maybe I missed it. Well, my question is, could we just do that? Because that would be a considerable savings.
We can, but I don't know if I can do it for that price by the time I rent a dumpster and the guy's time and everything. So,
okay.
And we're just getting into that time of year where we need to really start cracking down some stuff around the township. So, I mean, that's up to the trustees. I would rather just have the contractor do it so they can put it where they want and have it done to their spec. Because I'm going to be calling Denny here to try to get that crack sealer, and that's going to be probably what we're going to be doing for quite a while. We got 7 pallets to put down, and I'd like to try to stick to that.
Okay.
So, but I mean, we can.
I mean, if I contacted Kimball to see about getting, I mean, what would it be, like 20-yard, 40-yard dumpster? How big?
I think so Veterans told me, I thought he would have had to have 3 dumpsters there for all that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or have it emptied 3. I can't remember how he worded that. So,
Okay.
It's not really itemized to tell us what the removal and haul away is.
it was, they had it somewhere. See if I can find the original.
Or just take it down and we could have like a big township bonfire, like for, summer. That'd be fun. I'll bring the marshmallows.
Well, and timing too, I guess. How long would we go without a fence if you guys did it before they would be able to install the new? I mean,
It's probably a good week for
go
work.
backfield.
Because the season's almost over, so nobody will be back there.
Well, they still rent the ball fields.
I don't think anybody does anything though, do they? After the next 2 weeks until fall ball kicks off?
You'll have to ask Rob about the schedule because
They're still
do the
dragging the
schedule
field now. I'm
and-
assuming they're,
they will have sometimes like charity ball games or, like things like that, just random little groups that want to do a ball game or a softball game. But Rod takes care of that schedule. So maybe that would be a good contact to see if they have something.
Email Mike. I just thought I would ask because that is, not a small amount of money.
yeah. He had it in here somewhere. This freaking computer's not wanting to work with me today. Because they both were really close, about the same price for the demolition and hallway.
I'm just thinking, what would a wood fence be if this is the chain link? Imagine it would be,
They had a price.
Well,
for
the wood fence with NEO was $51,000.
I see, yeah, but I don't see it with the veterans.
Because the guy from Veterans even recommended, he goes, do a chain link. He goes, everything else is chain link around here. And the only things that I wasn't sure of was I know Veterans was going to do a bottom rail on theirs, and I got to contact Northeast Fence and ask them if they were going to do a bottom rail theirs also, make sure that was going to be the same. That was my only question. I just haven't had time to get a hold of them yet.
Yeah, why don't we work on more of an apples to apples so we can make sure that they're dead on and have a better understanding.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Perfect. Thank you for your work on that.
But other than that, that's about all I have for right now. So.
Anybody else have anything for Mr. Bahari? Anyone? Anyone?
Did you look at the concession stand too?
We did some measurements on it, but until we do like a tear off, you won't know for sheeting wise. So, but it's more just re-shingling right at the moment. So,
About the concession stand roof at the ball field.
There was no extra roofing from the,
no. No, they packed everything up.
the concession stand's tiny. All right, well, thank you very much. I don't have anything else for you. Anyone else? You're free to go, sir.
Sounds good.
Thank you for being here.
Yep.
Did those doors come in?
Not yet.
Okay.
Can't believe that. Because she originally told me this week.
It's the way of the world anymore. Just be
I can't
patient.
even get a call back about our pickup that we have ordered from last year.
Did you want to
Thank
talk about the truck before you go too?
I
Or
found
no?
a state bid right now, so
Okay.
guy's out for a funeral today, so hopefully he'll be calling me out
Okay.
of Wellington. So hopefully we can get that moving also.
Very good. Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you.
Sergeant Shirley, welcome.
Just touching on the two items Chief emailed the board on yesterday regarding the phone recording system and the HVAC system. Regarding the phone options, Chief is going to be meeting with John Pace in the near future to discuss further. So the only thing on that is I was a little confused when I saw the RevCord quote, which is from October of 2021 and says it's only good until December 18th of 21. Mr. Pace said he would still honor that price, so that is still valid. So essentially there's the three options between 13.8 and 19.2. So again, Chief's going to discuss with John those three different options. Just to note, the RevCord, which is the middle priced one, is who the Medina County Sheriff's Office and Medina City Dispatch both use.
Okay.
So he'll have further on that in the near future. The only other thing is the HVAC system. That was due a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. What was the date on the quote? June 1st. Half of the building got up into the 80s. When we went down to the HVAC unit, it was all frozen up, the coil. We had turned it off for a day, let it thaw out, kicked it back on, it froze back up. So we finally called out Precision. And the tech said that his leak meter went crazy. So the coil inside the unit is bad, it's leaking. So they recharged it to get us up and running. He said that'll last possibly a couple months to get us, to keep the AC running. But due to the complexity of removing the coil and replacing it and the age of the unit, that most people, and it makes the most sense to replace everything at the same time. So that's what that quote was. So I guess the chief just kind of wanted to get a feel for the board on if you guys were okay with moving forward with Precision Mechanical due to the fact that they are contracted for all of the township buildings and two we've used forever, or if going to require additional bids.
Aren't they the ones that did the Historical Society too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty decent bid actually on that.
Yeah.
And what was that bid?
It is $6,934.00. And that's for new furnace, new air conditioning, and removal and labor.
Does it state what kind of unit it is?
One that doesn't freeze.
Yeah, one that works. It does give details. I don't know if it gives a brand. 80,000 two-stage, 4-ton evaporator with TXV, 13-SEER 3-phase condensing unit. There's details in here. I don't know if it gives a specific brand.
Sounds good with me.
This has not been a good summer to not have a functioning air conditioner.
Yeah, we've got 3 total units
know.
that run the police department and a mini split. So this would be one of the 3 main units. So hopefully the other ones hang on for another couple of years.
Yeah, or at
As
least
we're
get on a
pushing
rotating
20
cycle to break down.
Right.
Yeah,
So good time to knock one of them out.
right. I agree completely.
Okay.
Trustees?
That's it for PD.
Well, thank you very much for being here. Before you go, I think I'll mention real quick, you guys were sent this email yesterday. We got an email that Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 15 is assigning a petition for representation of our patrolmen at Hinckley PD. And my name is on it as the chairman. Do you mind if I hand this off to you?
That's fine.
Perfect. I know that Chief Setner had emailed us that he has already contacted our representation on that. And this was something that was anticipated. Can you remind me? We talked about this maybe with
Yeah, the Patrolmen's Union is considering changing from the OPBA to being represented by the FOP. So that's kind of what the initial phase of that.
And that goes back to, we talked about it when? Roughly February?
Yeah, earlier in there.
Yeah.
And then what is the next phase?
I don't know exactly. I know because the OPBA, the current contract goes to the last day of September, that nothing can officially happen until that contract ends. So from my understanding regarding, negotiations and all that stuff with the Patrolmen's Union is all going to kind of have to be delayed because I have to wait for the contract to end. Then there's a process with CERB to accept the FOP, and not until all those processes happen and the FOP is actually in place can the FOP start negotiating with the township.
Did I misunderstand? I thought Chief Sentner had told me, I asked him about this a week or two ago, that they could start the negotiations in July. They can't agree to anything until the contract ends in October, correct? But they could start the negotiation?
So from my understanding, that would have been if the OPBA
Okay.
was staying, because that's I don't remember if it's the 60 or 90-day window, but
Okay.
because they're transitioning to FOP, I think everything has to wait until it's in place.
That's my understanding.
I'm not 100% confident in that, but
that would be predicated on them accepting this.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, this is just the initial phase. Everyone's still, I think the patrolmen still have to officially
Vote.
vote. The SERB sends them a ballot type of thing, and then SERB has to officially accept it. So it'll be, from my understanding, it's a fairly complex, drawn out process a little bit due to the transition from one to the other.
What I read,
It's our favorite kind
it
of
needs to be like
process.
70% need to.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you like envelopes. All right. Anybody else have anything for Sergeant Stroll?
If I can give agenda items by tomorrow.
She's going on vacation.
All right. Can I come?
I was going to mention that. Are you going to mention that? Just reminding everybody we need the
Well, I
agenda
was hoping
items.
I would catch the other two when they were still here. but
Okay.
Yeah.
I
They
will.
bolted.
I
They
will
bolted as
email
well.
Jeff and Jen and let them know. Because I know he's got 2 things he said he'll put on his agenda. So I'll make sure they know to send it to you.
I mean, I did already send out an email, but I was just do a friendly reminder.
Sure.
Perfect. Thank you.
A friendly verbal reminder of don't forget.
Anybody else? Have anything for Sergeant Stroll?
Do not.
Thank you for being here.
Any update on the fuel system?
Other than he's working on it.
What's
Johnny?
going on? We haven't heard anything yet.
No, Johnny,
The sales.
which is what he goes by from Great Lakes.
Yeah.
He did reach out and ask for the capacities on the equipment and photos of everything over there. And Mike sent the stuff to him. So it's in process. I would think probably within the next week or 2.
Sounds good.
Very good. Thank you. And you'll be in charge here pretty soon. So if we need anything, we'll call you.
Okay.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Have a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Z. I'm going to have you pop in. I'm just going to go around the room. And Lynn, just so you know, Martha's virtual.
Martha's on right now.
Yes, she is.
I've got payroll in the top.
Very good. All right, Tom Z. I had Tom Z join us for 25 River Road to assist us in maybe answering some questions.
Yeah, property owner of Vassal Milosevic, located at 25 River Road, has been basically negligent in the cleanup of his property, of junk cars, debris, scrap metal, old tractors, since 2004. And it's just been an ongoing situation there for a long time.
Can we have you actually step up here just so the virtual audience can hear you? Jack just reminded me that maybe.
Or you can sit over here and just use that mic. That'd
Yeah, I
be
was gonna
fine.
say, or you could sit here.
Tom,
Sorry,
did you say
Tom.
since 2004?
Since 2004,
Yes,
it's,
2004.
25 River Road has been, has just not been cleaning up the property, and it's really a mess. I mean, here's some photos here if you want to pass around and look. I mean, there's a file,
I think you guys were emailed those.
Yeah, I was
photos
going to
by
say we
Tom.
got these.
yeah, in the zoning department. So, you know, if you have any additional information you want to know, it's all located in the file. Yeah, he's been just ignoring zoning violation letters that I've been sending out throughout the months, then months turn into years. And well, you know, it's been since 2004. So it's been going on, ongoing situation since before me. So it's just really gotten kind of out of control. And it's it's a pretty big mess over there.
I stopped by there. You can't see most of it from the street.
Yeah. What you see there is, I mean, he doesn't really allow anybody on the property, so what's on file is basically me just driving in with the township Jeep and taking photos on what I see, what's obvious, but there's 10 acres back there and it's basically scattered with old tractor parts, junk cars, etc. It's just like a disaster back there.
So to Martha's point last meeting, there is a legal process that we have to follow, but we've invested time, money, and energy in kind of looking into this since 2004. Legal counsel has requested a decision on this. I just got another email on Friday. I think it was Friday, asking if we've made a decision on this as to how we want to pursue it.
Well, the question I had was the legal order was from the health department saying that this stuff has to be done, correct?
Correct.
But it doesn't specify whose responsibility is to enforce that order.
Well, the Ohio Revised Code says that it's both the township and the health department. The health department's this document gives the township the ability to make a resolution to allow for cleanup because they're saying that it is a property that has issue.
Well, the health department gets involved in situations with solid waste on the property, which is basically on the property, solid waste. But when it comes to the junk cars and the scattered metal debris, things like that, I mean, that's where the township's code.
It's against our zoning.
Yeah. Ohio Revised Code and the township's code.
But this gives us, I shouldn't have said permission, but it gives us a better ability to move forward with Ohio Revised Code process.
If we elect to do so.
Right. But like I said, I mean, we've already invested in this. We've been working on this since 2004. So we're paying our guys to go out and take pictures. We've done a title search, correct, that we paid for.
Yeah.
And so we've put time, money, and energy into this.
And there are complaints against the property? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the health department has a complaint against the property. That's pretty big.
Well, somebody had to bring it to their attention. They didn't mosey out there on their own. So
I'm just wondering if this is something we want to move forward on because the prosecutor's office has contacted me again about it.
So this would be starting the process of we would pay someone to come in there and clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then how would it be on their taxes that they would
Correct.
reimburse?
Okay. That's what we've talked about. So all of the fees that we encumber are then put on their property taxes.
I would say we should move forward with, I mean, this has been going on since 2004. So literally almost 20 years.
Yeah.
We've been dealing with the same issue, and it sounds like maybe there were, 16 different, this is your final warning. So I think that now we need to back it up and say.
Yeah. I mean, there really hasn't been any progress in the removal of any junk cars, debris,
Yeah.
et cetera, except in 2017, I believe, he did remove a few junk cars out of there. I mean, that was the only progress.
There's no incentive for the property owner to do anything if all we do is keep verbal warning.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's.
Well, I mean,
that's
yes,
what I'm
actually,
saying.
it's, I mean, certified letters that have been sent out and he just totally ignores them.
Well, wouldn't you?
And
After 20 years,
Yeah.
it's just another letter.
Yeah.
So I would say we should start the process.
And last time we did this, we did have citizens come up and ask us why it took so long. And
Mhm.
they were so grateful that we had gone through the process to make the neighborhood that they live in a lot nicer. And that's why we have to have
This
all
was
of
in
this
2004?
documentation.
or is this for a different
No,
property?
it was a different property that we did with Ray Schulte
Up off
3
of
years
Jacqueline.
ago. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so we had residents come forward and say, gosh, it was so fantastic that this was done. Our neighborhood is nicer.
Mhm.
So what is the next step in the process? Was it you telling me we needed something to enter onto the property,
A
Suzanne?
resolution is needed by the prosecutor's office for the trustees to approve or deny. If it's approved, then that gives our zoning inspectors the opportunity to go out and price cleanup. We can't step on the property without that resolution, is my understanding.
Okay, so we can't make a resolution at this meeting, correct?
No, sir, I have to have,
So if we prepare that and in the meantime, send a certified letter to the household again saying, we're entering into the process of hiring somebody to come to remove that trash.
Yeah.
Need to be aware of something to that fact. And that may,
that's not normally the process because they've had so many warnings.
With a letter that states that the trustees have made resolution to move forward, and it's through the prosecutor's office that the letter said after your resolution.
Right,
So we'll do that next week.
if I can get it by then.
yes.
Yeah. But I just wanted to make sure that we were all in agreement to move
Yeah,
forward.
I
Yes.
think it's been long enough.
Yeah, it's been a mess
Thank you.
over there. Yeah.
Perfect.
And that's like step one of the process. And then once it's determined what the cost is, then there's a show cause hearing that then gives the property owner the ability to address the issues publicly, and then there's no.
I mean, it behooves him to do it himself because then he can control the cost.
Mhm. And what is disposed of. Maybe
That too.
not everything.
Grass is all over the line.
Mhm.
I'll help him get rid of that one car.
All right, well, thank you, I appreciate it, and thank you, Tom, for coming in
Okay.
and kind of explaining
Sure.
the situation, because I didn't even know it had gone back to 2004, so I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
it's been going on. And I checked an aerial view of the property too. And if you can zoom in on what's going on back there, and you can see just junk cars scattered throughout the
Wow.
whole property through that aerial view. And
How big's the property?
it's like close to 10 acres. So, I mean, it's just junk cars and
All the way back?
debris. Yeah, all throughout the
We
property.
should get into the business of cleaning.
So it's-
Before you leave, because it sounds like this may be a similar situation with Forest Drive. How long has Forest Drive been going on?
Forest Drive.
The one that you sent the letter about yesterday?
Yesterday. Yeah, that's been going on for a while too. Let's see, that one was, there's a few more letters coming too with abandoned houses. So I haven't heard anything back from them.
Because that was the one, the neighbor called me from across the street, and I talked to Tom Wilson about it. And he said, you guys have been going through the process
Yeah.
on that one for a bit. So I really don't want us to wait 20 years before
Oh, yeah,
we
yeah.
get
No,
a
no,
resolution to
that's-
this one. So
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, is that going to be kind of a similar process if the,
Mhm.
Well, that one, I think, I have to review that one. I think the fire department already went out there and,
they did,
Deem that
I
one,
hear that it's
yeah.
condemned.
yeah, they
From
deemed
Tom.
that one, that was unsafe and unfit
Mhm.
for any habitation or anybody that would want to, go
Right,
into the property. There could be a
Right.
hazard.
right.
So, and then there's another abandoned house. I have to see what address. I think that one is it Bellis? But he's the brother of this Milosevic. And he has a house or is it Elaine Court? Maybe that's the one on Elaine Court.
Okay,
So there's another letter coming your way
okay.
with the abandoned homes.
Well, thank you for the letter.
Thank you for your work. I wrote down that, thinking the same thing, that maybe we could get a grant to help with those two abandoned homes.
Well, zoning.
Great
is
minds,
working.
Suzanne. Thank you very much, Tom.
Okay.
Suzanne?
Lynn, can you grab those? They're labeled.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. I meant to bring my copy of this.
That's okay. So first thing's the easy one. We got a call from Kelly from the Medina County Soil and Water Conservation District. And every so often they like to do educational displays at different areas.
Mhm.
And she's asked if the township would be willing to house their display for about a month somewhere here at the township. Now, the last time she had inquired, the trustees had said no, because we just don't have that additional space to put their display in our meeting room area. When we have a full house, it's already kind of full, and then our hallway doesn't really allow for a whole lot of extra stuff. So it's up to you on what the trustees would want to do.
I was gonna say, didn't we already discuss this,
We
or did I
did.
dream it?
Nope, you
So,
did.
okay.
She's just coming back.
I'm
Yeah.
dreaming about this.
No,
now,
we
so-
did.
Okay.
Kelly is new this year, or late last year she came in. This Medina County Soil and Water has been emailing me little blips to put in our newsletter quarterly, and I haven't received anything from her this year. And that was what we had kind of decided, is that we will get more traffic through our e-newsletter. Over 400 people are attached to that than we would at town hall. So if you want, I can contact her and just remind her that we've been doing it in the newsletter, which is a great way to get to more of our citizens. Unless you want to have the display here.
Could put it out in the fire bay. I would say just stay consistent with what we've decided previously.
Say, to let her know. Tell her no. And Melissa, do you want to just go ahead and follow up?
Yeah, I'll just give her a ring and just remind her that that's been past practice over the last couple years.
All right, thank you. I was late coming into the work session, so I apologize. I heard the word inspection. Monique, were you talking to Chief about our recent fire inspection conducted here at the administration building? All right, because I had sent you an email. Our facility had our fire inspection, and I was just going to follow up with Chief to find out what's next, because he listed the two things that need to be checked annually in the buildings. One is the let's see, it says
Thank you.
emergency lighting and fire detection alarms have to be tested. So I just wanted to know how the township follows up with those findings.
When she's not giving us information, she's greeting people walking in. She's fantastic.
Want to move on while we wait?
Are we gonna
Oh, she's back.
determine who's gonna work on these inspection topics? Or do you want to review them and then come back to them at another date?
I mean, I can. Let's review them, but I mean, I can communicate with Gabe.
It's just two items that need to be looked at.
Yeah. Did he look at the,
So the smoke detectors need to be replaced, is that essentially?
They need to be checked annually to make sure they're working.
Okay,
And then the emergency lighting needs to be looked at.
and they don't do that. So we need to have someone else come and do that?
That's why I wanted to talk. to
Yeah.
Chief.
Fire Safety Services is owned by a Hinckley resident. Clegg is his last name. I can't remember. Nick Clegg? I can't remember his first name. And he services the fire department. So it might be a good idea to reach out to him and see if we can get a cost for the service here at Town Hall so we can meet fire code.
Okay. I will call Jess. after the
Yeah,
meeting.
chief will have that contact.
I will call Jess and then hopefully we'll be able to have an answer to all this by next week.
Perfect.
I see the email with this, but I don't have an attachment. Was this like an attachment?
You just, no, I'm sorry, that's why I
Okay.
handed it out.
Okay,
I meant to put it in your bins yesterday, but I forgot.
okay. There was nothing that stuck out from the email. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne. You have the zoning fee structure?
Yes, and Tom and I were talking about it today, and
This is the clean copy, guys.
yeah,
Gave you draft 4 and draft 5 at the last meeting. We had some questions specific to the last page definitions. What we've done, because we find it's oftentimes difficult to determine what's an extension of a meeting or a new meeting based on the applicant or our BZA and zoning commission. So what we've done is forwarded this language to our BZA chairman and our zoning commission chairman to see if they have better definitions of this before we finalize this document.
I spoke to Joe this morning, Chairman Calabro, and she said that she does have some questions on it, and she does want a little bit more time to review it, as well as the conditional zoning certificate compliance and reapplication. She said there's some ambiguity there, and then also for the extension or extended meetings, she said she's not really quite sure if the intent of what we're stating here is what she's reading, if it's determined that the applicant requires an additional meeting versus the BZA telling them that they're required to have another meeting. So she just wants to make sure that based on what she states at the meetings is, you know, in comparison to our fee structures, the language is the same.
Maybe we should have a meeting with Marcus and Joe and Tom and Suzanne and I just to kind of nail down those definitions so that everyone's on the same page. Because everyone has a different perspective of what those things are. Why don't we do that, and then we'll finalize this and move forward. Sound like a plan?
Sounds great.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Did you get anything?
Well, I just wanted to report that tomorrow morning, I have a Zoom meeting with Assistant County Prosecutor Brian Ricker to meet with state liquor license people in Columbus concerning 729 West 130th. And so after tomorrow's meeting, I'll report back. But as you remember, I ruled that it was a non-conforming business and hadn't been in business for 2 years. And so the property is no longer eligible to house a tavern. It's now, well, it's always been R2 residential. And so we're going to have a Zoom meeting, and someone has applied for a liquor license. But in my opinion, they don't have a place to place it.
It's no longer zoned for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have a hearing tomorrow morning with the state.
So I'll report back after tomorrow's meeting.
And I'm going to sit on and just listen because I'm curious as to how that thing's run. Thank you very much. Anything else, Tom?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Thank you for being here. Suzanne, do you have anything else?
I don't believe so, unless you have something for me.
When I look through, the cemetery grant, I have the final report in front of me, and I've requested documents from Martha that she doesn't have yet, but the deadline for that is August 1st, so I'm working on that, and we'll work on it when you get back. And I think that's all I have for you. Thank you. All right. Anybody else have anything for Suzanne? I'm going to ask her. Yeah, I wrote it down so I didn't forget. Martha, do you have anything to add? I know you're listening in this morning and it's not quite July 1st yet, so we can have you.
I do. I received a bill from Fabrizi Trucking for concrete work that they did in 2020 for Salem Court project. It's the bill is for $11,748.30. They apologized, but they said that they had failed to do their final retainage bill, their third pay app. So it does need to be paid, I guess. They just apologized and said it got lost, and now they're looking for their $11,000. So I will probably, I'll talk to Jack. We talked about it a bit already, and the trustees will probably have to make a resolution to use $2022 because I was told the project was done and all bills were submitted back in 2020. So obviously that purchase order is no longer open.
How difficult is that, Martha, at this stage to pay that? Just out of curiosity.
It's not going to be, I mean, it's $12,000 we didn't expect to pay, but the bill that they made is dated 2022. So that makes it quite easy to pay.
Okay.
Can we pay it in 2024?
That's what I said to her.
That's the best idea.
But
Did you hear that, Martha?
I did. I'm not sure that'll work, but
she ignored me the first time, so.
yeah.
Same response the second time.
But what I had told her, from an ethical standpoint, it was money we would have owed had they presented it. So,
well, we know what kind of post office issues were happening at that time too.
Well, it wasn't the post office. It was that they did not have the staff, and it was during COVID, and she just apologized. She says, I don't know what to say. It just, they never sent it. I mean, they never sent the third pay app, and they must have had an internal audit or something and discovered that there was still outstanding monies. I'm sure we're not the only ones that are getting these retainage, but yeah, I mean, just an unusual circumstance.
Right. Well, thank you. Do you have anything else for us?
No.
Okay, thank you very much.
Somebody owes me $12,000. That would come in handy right now.
Trustee Astral.
All right. I do not have much. I will talk about this next week. Also, as a reminder that trash is going to be delayed, trash pickup until Saturday, July 9th, because of the holiday. And Lynn and I are meeting tomorrow with Proximity Marketing for our second meeting with the website. And I believe they said we're going to have like the homepage, model of the homepage. So that'll be exciting. And I think I talked to both of you at the last meeting that if you wanted to see everything that's discussed, I have recorded the meetings in Zoom.
Okay.
will that be a live meeting or are you doing Zoom again?
Zoom. Zoom.
Is it possible? I mean, we can all attend those meetings, right? I mean, if it's just informational, we're not making a decision.
You can
Well,
watch.
there would be decision, like, I think there would be decisions made with the layout and.
But I think you could watch. You can't.
You could
wouldn't be able to
watch.
comment, yeah.
Right,
Okay.
right. So that is tomorrow at
But then if you're watching, you're like, no, don't do that.
I start typing in the
Yeah.
chat section.
We'll have to mute her.
There's no chat section.
We'll just see her mouth going and we're like, can't hear you.
You want to get those pictures? Oh, okay.
Yes.
So we got that. Awesome.
Yes, everything's in Dropbox. So
Awesome.
she's got everything I told her she had any questions or if any of them wouldn't work or if she needed anything else, let me know. And she said they all look fantastic. I have no clue which ones they used. But I thought it was funny. He said, he pulled up our website and he said, what's the thing that stands out to everybody? And everybody said, what stands out on our homepage? And he goes, for me, you have a headstone on the cover of your webpage. And I'm like, oh yeah, we do. I'm like, that's not really like.
Come to Hinckley for your end days.
I'm like, that actually is like.
Yeah, that should boost cemetery sales.
There is a headstone. That's the only picture we have on the front of our website. So
we just changed
they're
that.
not even going to have to like wow us, and we will be impressed just by not having a headstone. So yeah, if they send me a file on it, if you guys don't want to watch the whole Zoom meeting, I will email it to you guys so you can see and provide any feedback.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
I look forward to that.
Like 3 different templates. We could choose one. Is that, am I getting the other one mixed up with this one?
You may be, I don't think they said that. I think you're mixing it up with the actual presentations,
Okay.
but maybe. I mean, we talked about a lot. I have not heard back yet from Brian with what it is that they needed. Remember, I have it written down. I emailed them what they needed, which they said they did not need right now, but we would be coming up to that point. So I'm going to follow up with Brian. It generally takes him a little bit of time to get back to us because this is not even a part-time job. It's volunteer for him. That's all I have.
I'm not so much about the pretty. I'm more about the user friendliness. When I go to a site, I want to be able to navigate it with ease, and like you said, having that search box in the front where you can just, I don't want to look through all of it. Can I punch in what I'm looking for? Boom, and it comes up,
Well,
so.
can't we have both?
They came.
I was going
You
to say,
can.
I wanted both.
He actually said,
That's what I'm saying is that when you're looking for input on, is this picture good? I'm okay with a headstone. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? As long as I can use the
the
site.
headstone is going away.
That's fine.
He actually said, which I thought was interesting. Are you thinking what I'm thinking about the scrolling? He said it changes like every 5 years, what web users look for and what it is that they consider user friendly and functionality. And I think Suzanne did not like all the scrolling. Right. And he said that's actually what people are going towards now. They like to just keep scrolling. I'm not a huge fan of all that scrolling either, because I think that you just get lost halfway through.
You sit there and you're like,
I'm not a huge fan of that, but I like the one that we want. It was one of the ones that I emailed you guys about the layout of it.
It was New Jersey, wasn't it?
No, it's not New Jersey.
Okay.
It's I think it's in my personal phone.
Wasn't that like a town around here, but then it was from New Jersey though?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know. Wait, this is New Jersey.
Well,
It's in my personal phone. I really liked the layout of it. I liked
wasn't it
the tab Morristown.
Yes.
Oh, you're right.
That's
It was
a
New
good
Jersey.
memory, Lynn.
It was
Morristown.
New Jersey.
Her memories. She probably can tell us the zip code there.
No.
Make one.
I really liked the quick link tabs at the bottom, so that the most frequently used tabs are like always there in circles. But then you also had, like we have right now, the top tabs with like the drop down box. I thought it was pretty and it was functional.
And it looked good on the mobile.
And there was no tombstone.
Because most people don't go on their laptops to look
Right.
up websites. They're on their cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was user-friendly on both the laptop and the iPad and the cell phone. And another thing that we liked is they had a search bar at the top, which is what everybody's going for. And we have one now, but it just kind of is dimmed away.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that they had that I thought was a great idea, they had a how do I section where you could plug in like, how do I, and just as an example, not that we have it right now on the website, but how do I fill out a zoning permit? You could put that in there and it would bring up how you do this.
and it was just easy flowing. You could utilize it, and it wasn't like this bogged down version where you had to wait or, had to scroll forever. It just made it real clean cut and nice.
Well, Lynn was on her phone the whole time. Like I was pulling up, websites, how they look on the computer. And Lynn was like, well, let me see how it looks on the web, and like Jackson, we didn't like Jackson's on the computer, but Jackson's was your favorite on the mobile. So it's just incorporating everything. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited for tomorrow. Let's see what they have for us. Yeah.
I'm going to be at a hearing at a state liquor license hearing, and you're going to be working on a website. Kind of jealous, not going to lie.
We're going to be perfecting that website.
I'm interested to see what pictures they did and how they incorporate them on, because there were like several different examples of taking, the pictures, and what we both didn't like is they just, like, there was some that was like a PowerPoint presentation where it slid in.
Sliding.
And we wanted something to just like fade.
The fade in and out.
And the fading looks really good. And I know it sounds stupid, but you want people to come, and this is just my opinion, you want people to come to your website and say, that looks like a class act website because we're a class act town, in my opinion. So,
my opinion too. I agree.
Love it.
I know.
Fair enough.
Really quick question. Do you want me to put that July 9th trash pickup in the newsletter?
Sure.
Okay.
that would be awesome, because otherwise we're going to get like tons of calls, and we'll get tons of people wondering on Facebook. There'll be like 6 posts on Facebook.
At least.
Yeah.
Trustee Astral, do you have anything else?
You don't know. That was it. I mean, this is like easy for me.
Okay. Trustee Sweattick.
I am good at most of the things that was what Mike brought up. So.
Okay. I just have a couple things. The comprehensive plan, we're still receiving surveys.
We have 76 now.
We have 76 now that we have not opened, which I think would have put us at the 40%. So if you're out there listening, we are not accepting surveys anymore.
Save yourself the stamp.
I am contacting Arthur. I still haven't heard from him on that memorandum, so I'm waiting to hear from him on that. And then the minutes were just updated. They're in my box if you want to look at them. She didn't have all of the steering committee listed on the first page, and there was one steering committee members whose name was printed the wrong way or spelled the wrong way throughout the minutes. So that's been updated. And if you have anything for the newsletter, please let me know. I just finished it yesterday. And I will add in the July 9th pickup date. And also wanted to see how much longer you wanted to do these work sessions. And we only have 2 people online besides Martha and 1 here in person. A lot of people are saying what they've been saying to me for the last couple months. They come to a meeting and it seems like the decisions have already been made. We're just voting because they're missing this meeting. So I wanted to see if you had any thoughts on reducing these, or
I still see value in them. Things that we talked about here that we can then do research on before we get to the meeting, instead of just presenting it at a meeting and then saying, oh, now we have to put it up for 2 more weeks to, No?
I mean, it's a good point. I agree with that point.
Yeah, we just said, with Mike, with the fence quotes, let's compare apples to apples so that we can maybe be able to have a decision made on this next week. So and
we're moving towards recording these. So even if they don't want to see it, live real time, they can watch it before the next meeting and know that what we spoke about.
And I feel like they're becoming more streamlined. Yeah. I feel that these meetings are getting shorter. We're getting more done. We're kind of working smarter, not harder. And I think that that's coming out in the regular meetings also. We're able to refer back to, we talked about this at our work session. We got additional information, so you can make more decisions that way, I feel. Okay.
All right. I just figured I would broach the topic again.
And it gives our folks here an opportunity to speak to the 3 of us collectively as well in a room.
Okay. And that is all I have. So talk about streamlined. If we can finish at 10:30, it'd be a miracle.
Oh my God, I told Michael it was gonna take 2 hours. So he's sitting in my office playing on his
It
phone.
still says it's 8:25.
It's his birthday, so we gotta hustle.
Yeah.
Any questions from the audience in person or any questions virtually, please raise your hand.
Last chance to do it virtually.
This is it.
Oh, really? That's right.
Yeah, as of July
I would
1st,
jump in just
all,
to say something to that.
yeah, that's why I came in virtually. No, I'm just kidding.
Martha going once, going twice. Who else is on there? I'm sure Jim Larson.
Jim Larson, someone with initials MAS. I don't have anything.
Right,
If you're in agreement, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn at 10:25 a.m.
second.
Seconded by Asherle. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. You're done.
What's the time that you adjourned it? 'Cause I
10:25 a.m.